Now that management access has been provided to our users, let's establish access to the accounting system. This module is not included in the standard user and will be billed at $245 per user. This user has the highest level of access in the system and can edit journal entries, contract information, charge code setup, etc. Step 2D, Establishing Accounting Access. To establish accounting access, navigate to Setup, Accounting Security, Accounting and Reports Users. As mentioned in the previous video, this screen will list out your users by personnel code. All that we need to do is select the accounting checkbox for each user that will be given accounting rights. At this point, these users have been given access to the accounting module. Next, we will need to determine which specific menus we want them to have access to, as well as what data we want them to see in each menu. The data portion is exactly the same as the management video and has been copied over to this video after the menu setup. Determining which menus accounting users will access is broken into 3 steps. Setting up the groups that the users belong to under Menu Security Groups, establishing which menus that the group will have access to under Menu Security Rights, and listing out which users belong to each group under Menu Security Membership. Data security for what is seen in each menu follows the same logic. By default, you should have an All Menu group listed in your Menu Security Groups screen. If you are content in providing all menu access to your users, then you can add your users to this group. However, you have more options on how you can limit the data. For example, in my dataset, I have a custom group for payable and receivable access only. To see how this data is limited for this group, let's navigate next to Menu Security Rights. The best way I can describe Menu Security Rights is that it's intended to be a mirror of the accounting menus on the left. For example, if I expand my Dashboards menu and then expand the Dashboard section in Menu Security Rights, you'll notice the submenus are identical. On this screen, you can control access for every menu item in the accounting system for your users. You can provide edit access, view access, no access, and even allow your users to create or modify custom reports in each menu. The group we are in now is All Menu, so Edit is selected for each menu. Let's scroll to Payables and Receivables to see how this access differs. Here, you'll notice only one dashboard item with view rights is selected for my AP and AR clerk, and 2 accounting menus for AP and AR with edit rights have been selected. You can mix and match these rights for any custom groups you create in the system. As a tip, when checking the highest level of menu access, all subsequent menus will default to the same rights. This should help save some time when modifying the screen. The last step in the process is determining which users should be in each group, which is completed under Menu Security Membership. Here, we can list out the users that we want in each group. Now, let's complete a similar process for the data that is seen in each menu. First, we need to create groups of access to add our users to. By default, you should have an All Data group listed in your Data Security Groups screen. If you are content splitting your users' rights by financial or project access, you can add your users to this group. However, you have more options on how you can limit the data. For example, in my dataset, I have created 2 additional groups, a financial group that can only see revenue numbers from my general ledger, and a project group that can only see information related to projects 1 and 2. To see how this data is limited for each group, let's next navigate to Data Security Rights. This screen is a wizard to help explain how data can be limited. It is recommended that you read the Before You Begin section to get an understanding of how this process can work. In PROCAS, you have the ability to limit data access by division, location, worksite, department, account, and project. In addition, you can limit your users to only see hours, rates, and amounts for these settings with additional filters for indirect rates. In my dataset, we defaulted to the All Data group. To see all data, all checkbox should be selected in View Permissions and no wildcards should be established on any of the items. Let's scroll to the Revenue group created for some of the financial users. To limit the data, under the Account wildcards, all that needs to be added is a 4, which means this group can only see accounts that start with 4 for revenue. For our project managers that will only be seeing projects 1 and 2, we can enter those 2 projects under the Project Wildcards form. Again, no additional wildcards need to be entered unless you want to limit the data further, and we should verify that the View Permissions section is completed. The last step in this process is determining which users should be in each group, which is completed under Data Security Management. Here, we can list out the users that we want in each group. At this point, accounting access has been established for our users. Follow along in the video series to learn how to invite your users to the system.